Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. We are on the record. Today is Monday, the 8th day of September, 2025. This is a Municipal Council Caucus meeting. We had a scheduled 4 p.m. start, and my watch is showing 4:02 p.m. May we have a roll call for the commencement of this meeting? Councilperson Ridley?
Here.
Councilperson Hewlings?
Present.
Councilperson Bogiano? Councilperson Saleh? Councilperson Solomon? I know Councilperson Gilmore is here. Councilperson DeGees?
Here.
Councilperson Rivera? And Council President Waterman. We have 7 council members present at 4:02 p.m. We have achieved a quorum. On behalf of Council President Waterman and the members of the Municipal Council, in accordance with the New Jersey Public Laws of 1975, Chapter 231, the Open Public Meetings Act, also known as the Sunshine Law, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by posting on the bulletin board on the first floor of City Hall the annual notice, which is a schedule of meetings and caucuses of the Municipal Council for calendar year 2025, which was also filed in the Office of City Clerk on Friday, November 15th, 2024. In addition, at the time of its preparation, the agenda of this meeting was similarly disseminated on Friday, September 5th, 2025 at 6:54 p.m. to the Mayor, Municipal Council, Business Administrator, Corporation Council, and the local newspapers, as well as posted on the city's website. So I can certify as to our total compliance with the Sunshine Law. Council President, I turn it over to you.
Good afternoon. First one up is Kyle.
Good afternoon, everybody. I have a few items. Most importantly, I'll start with 10.1, a resolution authorizing amendments to the 2025 municipal budget. I did share some additional information with the council ahead of this meeting. In short, before I open up the questions, the amendments are being introduced to the council this week. Assuming they are approved, the following meeting, we will be able to have a public hearing on the proposed amendments, in addition to adoption of those amendments and formally adopting the budget as a whole for the year. So that is the current schedule. Like I said, I did provide some detail. If there's specific questions on the budget, I have our budget director here as well, Danny Bejnoth. But in summary, these are some state mandated amendments that we had to make. The overall tax impact will be 0.97% for the year, and that on the average assessment will be approximately $38 on the average assessment of $480,000. So if there's any questions on what's included in the amendment, I'm open to answering them here.
They put it up.
All right. Again, we'll have a public hearing next meeting if something comes up. The next item would be 10.3, authorizing temporary appropriations. That is just to get us to the adoption date in the event there's any other delays to cover payroll and, contractual obligations. Any questions on 10.3? The next item, 10.4, authorizing acceptance of funds from national opioid settlements administered by Brown Greer PLC. This is just to accept the award. The amount for the year. Sorry, I have a lot of papers here. The amount of this award is $428,000. Total received to date for opioid settlements is 1.5 million. So this would bring us to approximately 2 million overall. Any questions? Right. 10.5, resolution authorizing cancellation of unexpended budget appropriation and grant receivable balance. So this was just a duplicate grant acceptance. We received the funds in 2024. At the end of the year, submitted the Chapter 159 resolution to the council. We then proceeded to set up the grant in the 2025 budget, which was not necessary. So we're just canceling that balance. Again, it's just a duplicate on our books. There's no impact financially here. Next item, 10.8, a resolution authorizing the replacement of lost third-party tax sale certificate 2007-1711 sold to Gregory Judge. Any questions? 10.9, resolution authorizing accelerated tax sale. This is routine business. This is just so we can have a tax sale in the current year for current year delinquencies and anything else, opposed to having it take place next year. So this would, help the city recoup some cash due for this calendar year, so there's no shortfalls in collections. $10.28, a resolution authorizing payment of a claim submitted by NW Financial for providing financial advisory services. This is currently going out to bid via an RFP. So this is for services that have been rendered this calendar year. Yep, thanks.
Real quick, just to address it, it kind of overlays one of the finances items for the bond ordinance. We're going to, officially pull it on Wednesday, but the administration wants to pull that ordinance. There's a settlement meeting on Thursday with the Embankment Coalition. So depending on what happens during that meeting, it might change some of the stuff in that ordinance. So we're proposing to pull it, reintroduce it the following meeting, and that way we can move forward with this. We have all the language specifically that the council requested and any updates based on the settlement agreement.
I would just note Councilman Solomon arrived at 4:05 p.m.
Good afternoon, Council President, members of City Council. I have two items for your consideration. Item 1, Resolution 25584. Item 10.20. This is a resolution authorizing the award of a contract to Whitson's Food Service to provide 2025 child and adult care food program meals for the Department of Health and Human Services. One bid was submitted. These meals will feed approximately 200 children. That number will grow, and pending approval will begin next week.
Your name, sir? I'm sorry.
Ofer Cohen.
You just spell that just for the record?
Sure. Offer, last name Cohen.
Thank you.
All right, item number 2, Resolution 25585. Item number 10.21. This is a resolution authorizing the City of Jersey City to accept the grant award from Screen Cancer Prevention, Education and Detection. This will be used for samples for self-check and brochures for early detection in breast cancer. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Council President. I have one agenda item. It's Resolution 25-583, agenda number 10.19. It's a resolution authorizing an award of a contract to Foley Power Systems, aka Foley Incorporated, for the renter of the chiller system and preventative maintenance at Pershing Ice Rink through Sourcewell Purchasing Cooperative for the Department of Recreation.
Director, thanks for your work in moving this forward. Assuming it's get approved on Wednesday, would we expect ice to be ready, at the start of the season in early November?
We're looking at second week in October.
Okay, great. If you can get that early, beautiful. Thank you.
And no problem. And we're going to have a conversation tomorrow just to hash out any small details that we might have missed. I don't think that's any. I can't hear you.
Mike Brown. Didn't we approve something for them to take care of the ice ring about a year ago?
You have to check back. I mean, there was some stuff for the ice rink.
Councilman, we've done several upgrades to the facility, including a new net, repainting, sensitive roof repairs, HVAC repairs. We did a chiller last year. So this is an ongoing process. We're upgrading the whole facility.
So we did do that last year.
So rent to lease. However, until the facility is fully upgraded, we want to purchase everything and put it in there yet because we have to make sure that the neighborhood can fit everything. So we're continuing that rental until we're ready to purchase it when the facility can accept it.
Thank you, council.
DG?
Good afternoon, Council President, members of the council. I'm Gigi Gasson, the Director for the Division of Affordable Housing. I have one item for your consideration today. It's Resolution 25-586, Agenda Item 10.22, and this is a resolution designating companies and individuals eligible to serve as administrative agents in connection with the City of Jersey City's municipally mandated affordable housing program. So basically, this certifies a list of administrative agents that we direct developers to use. As you know, most of the units that we monitor are in mixed income units, and a lot of the developers are smaller for-profit developers, so they don't necessarily understand all of the intricacies of affordable housing compliance. And so we do ask them to use administrative agents as per the ordinance. And this is just a list. We certify it every year. Any questions? Okay, thank you for your support and your consideration.
Dennis?
Yeah.
He was just here.
Thank you, Council President, members of the council. I'm Diana Jeffrey. I'm the director of the Jersey City Redevelopment Agency. I'm here to discuss Ordinance 25-097. That's item 3.3 on the agenda. This is an ordinance that requests the council authorize the discharge of a deed restriction in connection with the medical center. This deed restriction was entered into between the medical center and the EDA about in the early 1990s. It set restrictions on the use of the land, and the city was a third-party beneficiary of that deed restriction. Now the hospital is contemplating a major expansion, which Nevins McCann is here to discuss. That includes increasing ambulatory care for the citizens, as well as the number of beds and other services provided by the hospital and parking. In exchange for the project that they're contemplating can only be undertaken if the deed restriction is discharged, because the limitations on the land will interfere with the redevelopment project in terms of financing and other things. Because of the redevelopment agreement that we have with the hospital, the JCRA negotiated a $26.75 million payment to the JCRA, which we will then pass on to the city. So the benefits of this project is that you get an expanded hospital with more services to the community, plus a payment of $26.75 million. What the city does with that payment is not up to the JCRA or the hospital. It's completely and solely in your decision and discretion. So with that, unless you have any questions for me, I'd like to call up Nevins McCann, who can discuss briefly in more detail what the hospital will be doing for the community.
Questions?
Yeah, how big is the parking garage?
Oh gosh, Nevins, that's for you. I don't know. I don't remember the detail. I'll stand here.
I'm Nevins McCann. I'm a partner at Connell Foley. I've had the good pleasure of serving the city as a member of the board of the Jersey City Medical Center for many years now. The specific answer to your question, Councilman Boggiano, is we're building a garage of approximately 12 to 1,400 parking stalls. It's going to be a several-story parking garage, tremendously expensive. Having been watching the hospital expand and meet the needs of the community all these years, one of the biggest problems we've had is parking. If anyone's been there, unfortunately I have, parking is very difficult. This is something that's been in the works for a decade. We actually bought this property from the JCRA about 8 years ago, but we've worked in partnership with the state and the city to make this incredible medical center a possibility. We're the largest charity care hospital in Hudson County. We are the place of last resort. We turn no one away. And the need grows every year. We have invested year over year in our campus, and we invest for the people of not just Jersey City, but everybody in the county. As you've seen, we have invested throughout the city approximately $500 million by putting ambulatory care in the Heights, in Greenville, in downtown. It's something that we feel very important to accomplish. We expanded our emergency room a few years ago because when it was built, it was to service 35,000 people a year when we were getting over 100,000. The needs of this community keep growing. This was always the plan, was on our 15-acre parcel, was to sell off a small portion of it to finance the expansion and build this garage and 3 more medical office buildings. One we have planned with OR, physical therapy, occupational therapy, oncology, every use you can imagine, because this city's big, vast, and diverse. This request is so important, but really a feather in the cap to this city. To have an organization like this work so tirelessly through thick and thin to service the needs of this community is something you should all be proud of. I know that I'm proud to come forward with this. So I don't know if you have any questions, but this is something that is imperative to the growth of the services of this city. I don't know if you realize this, but Jersey City Medical Center services more than all 3 other major hospitals in Hudson County combined. So the role that we play is staggering, it's never ending, and the expansion is necessary. So we hope you find support for this. If you have any questions, please ask.
Yeah, just by way of just trying to understand exactly. So this parcel you guys already own, correct?
Yes.
But something in the deed has some type of contingency with the city that they have to release a restriction.
When the property was purchased in conjunction with the State Economic Development Authority, there was a deed restriction put across all of the property that it had to be used for medical use. In developing our strategic plan for the future, we have spoken with the city and the EDA, and they all understand why we need to sell a small portion of it and lift that restriction, because it's financing the garage and the build out of additional care facilities for the community. So if and when you guys as a body approve this lifting of the restriction, we will be going next to the meeting at the state EDA where they're prepared to do the same thing. Everyone believes in this investment and feels it's for the best.
Oh, okay. Now I got a little more clarity. So, yeah, Diane.
I also just want to add that when they sell this parcel, the JCRA negotiated a payment to the city as well. So the city's going to get that 26.75 million from our negotiation.
Just to bring some clarity to that, we bought the property in 2014, I believe, or 2016. And we sat on it while we did this plan and built it out, and really it's well thought out with the data we get to see what the needs are. But when we sold it for the profit, we're splitting the profit with the city. So that's what Diane is speaking of. And we're taking the other half to build into the garage and all the other facilities.
So, you're selling a portion of the land that you guys purchased in 14. What was the purchasing price? If I'm
$24 million.
24, and subsequently the deal will net 26 to the JCRA, back to the city, and the other, I would imagine, will go to financing for the medical garage and all that stuff.
Correct.
Okay,
50-50 split.
all right.
I just have a question, Ellis, and it's more of like a concern, right? So, I love the project, and the fact that it's expanding, medical care. I'm with that 100%. A couple of years back, they had that road diet or that traffic and engineering change on Jersey Avenue, and it took probably 120 spots away from teachers that teach in that local schools. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 schools in that area, and those teachers used to use that. Is there any way that, being that you're going to have so much parking, that the hospital can give those teachers those spots, for the time that they're there? I think it's 10 months out of the year. They're not there in the summer, but those teachers are racking up a whole lot of tickets and stuff like that, going to their classes late because those spots have been taken away. I would really appreciate if the hospital can say, hey, as a give back to our local teachers there, we can do this to support.
Certainly something I'll bring back. I can't commit to it, but
Obviously.
but that triggered one thing that I wanted to share. We've been renting parking spots all around to cover our shortfall of parking to the tune of probably $1 million and change a year. That's no way to run a hospital and when people are coming in to be cared for. We need to have our own garage, you know what I mean? Where people can come in, be close to the medical center. But I will bring that up, and before Wednesday, I'll get back to you.
Is there parking on the land the city intends to sell at the medical center?
I don't believe so.
No?
No. It's financing the building of a parking center. Very small piece we're siphoning off to allow for the construction of the rest. And it was put out to public bid. And we had 10 responders, and we picked the highest responder for the project. Hospital did. Other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Laura?
I would just note for the record, Councilman Saleh is now present at 4:24 PM.
Hi, good afternoon, council members and council president. I'm here for 2 resolutions. The first one is Resolution 25-570, item 10.6, a resolution to cancel a portion of the 2024 and 2025 real estate taxes on a block A04, lot 23, qualifier C001, due to the tax abatement granted in 2023 and omitted from the tax list for both the years. This property is a condo unit. The property was a brand new construction back in 2022 in July. They applied for a tax abatement in October 2022, which is more than 30 days window, which is allowed by when they apply for the tax abatement, they have 30 days to apply for an abatement. So they passed almost 4 months. So we denied the abatement, and they took the case to the county board. And they appealed in the county board, and they granted that abatement in the county board. So we took it to the tax court trying to dispute the decision, but after reviewing the files, we find out that we'd be better just to keep it a tax abatement because it's a 1-unit condo. And when it comes to the CUI inspections, that's how we decided to grant it, the abatement based on the county decision in 2023. So therefore, I'm asking the municipal council to authorize a collector to refund or cancel the taxes in the amount of $7,309.03 for 2 years, 2024 and 2025.
Laura, what's the exact address?
The property is on 11 Irving Street.
11 Erie Street?
Irving,
Huh?
Irving Street in the Heights.
Oh, Irvin Street?
Yes.
Okay. So initially, we denied them, they appealed, they won. We looked to try to consider to oppose the appeal, but in the best interest of, I guess, the finances of the city, we're just going to oblige to give,
No, actually it was, we took it to the tax court trying to fight it, a decision of the county. But we investigated the property, how the inspections were issued, the certificate of occupancy, is timing about the dates. So we knew there was no worth to fight it in the court because it's only one unit. So we didn't have enough backup since it has to do something with the certificate of occupancies, inspections, COs, dates. So we decided just to keep it based on the county board in 2023.
and how long will the property be abated? So it's just.
5 years. 5 years, yes. It's a short-term abatement.
So it is the two
Yeah.
that just passed with the refund and then 3 more.
Yes. So actually they have 2023, we give in 2024, 5, so they have 2 more years to go.
2 more years.
Yes.
Now, when this refund is gone to, like they're receiving a check, they're not receiving a
It
credit.
will be applied, a credit to the account.
A credit?
Yes.
And that's what they've agreed? They're okay with
It's
that?
usually the way that has been done.
Oh, okay. I just, when my money due, I want my money. I don't want no credit.
Well, we don't have a complaint for the taxpayer yet, so they okay being put it for the next future quarters.
Oh, okay. No, but I want to pay them when I want to pay. $5,000 a day and $5,000 in 90 days is two different $5,000.
I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
No, I was talking to Dan. He don't understand numbers like I was.
Go ahead, Dora.
Okay, sorry. So the next resolution is Resolution 25-571, item 10.7, a resolution to reject all the proposals received by the city for the real property appraisal service for the tax assessor office under July 28, 2005. That RFP to issue and revise for a longer term. So I requested to be changed the term of the appraisal companies from 12 months to 2 years with a 3 years extension. So that's the reason that I'm requesting to be basically rejected so we can reissue them again.
No.
Okay, thank you, Happiness.
Asia.
Good afternoon, members of the Municipal Council. My name is Deja Anderson. I'm the Director of the Division of Community Development. I have 5 resolutions for you today. The first one is agenda item number 10.23, and that's Resolution 25-587. And it is a resolution authorizing the business administrator to execute the discharge encumbering the mortgage located at 60 Martin Luther King Drive in Jersey City. This property was a recipient of home investment partnership funds in the amount of $288,000, and the mortgage was recorded in July of 2002. All the conditions of the mortgage have been satisfied, and the city is obligated to discharge. The next one that I have for you is 10.24, and that's Resolution 25-588, and it's a resolution authorizing the business administrator to execute the discharge of the mortgage encumbering 156 Columbia Avenue in Jersey City. This property is a recipient of first-time homebuyer funds in the amount of $13,500. The mortgage was recorded on March 14th of 2000. All the terms of the mortgage have been satisfied and no payment is due, and therefore the city is obligated to discharge. Okay. The next item that I have for you is 10.25, and that's Resolution 25-589. And it's a resolution authorizing the business administrator to execute the mortgage discharge encumbering 422-424 Halliday Street in Jersey City. This property received Home Investment Partnerships funds in the amount of $52,000. This occurred on a mortgage dated June 25th of 1993. This borrower does intend to sell to another qualified borrower. So there is a payment amount of $110,137.59. Once payment is received, the discharge will be contingent upon receipt of the payment. The next item that I have for you is 10.26. That's Resolution 25-590. And this resolution will authorize the business administrator to execute a mortgage discharge on the property located at 709 Garfield Avenue. This property received $50,000 in regional contribution agreement funds. This occurred on May 25th of 2000. All conditions of this program have been satisfied, and there is a payment due in the amount of $183,397.99, and that will be deposited into the 95.5 program income account. All right, and the last resolution that I have for you today is agenda item 10.27. That's resolution 25-591. And this is a resolution for council to authorize the submission of fiscal year 2026 community service block grant application to the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs. Again, this is for our CSBG grant that operates for a one-year period, and it commences on January 1st, 2026, and will run through December 31st of 2026. Consistent with the city's needs and via our assessment, the city has applied and requested $976,320. And again, our CSBG funded is focused on our extremely low population that have incomes at 200% or less of the federal poverty guidelines. I did receive some questions from Councilman Gilmore's office. I'm prepared with those answers, or I can follow up with writing if you would like.
Yes. Either or, it doesn't matter. If you want to discuss some on the record, you can, or if you can, send it, well, I would prefer the email response for my recollection.
Absolutely.
But if you want to discuss them, you could also.
So the first question, all these questions were in reference to this resolution submission for CSBG. And you wanted information on our community engagement and notification and how we alerted the community. Notice went out to the community about 3 months ago that application would be open for these grant lines. Over a month ago, DCD hosted an orientation session that was created based on the feedback that we received from the agencies. This orientation session allows them and educates them on the threshold requirements so that they can be successful when placing an application. Just last Wednesday, we had our pre-application seminar. And this is an opportunity for us to go through the application line by line. It was attended by about 78 individuals representing all of the agencies that are involved in providing services to our vulnerable populations. We also sent out notice that these applications were going out using our mailing list, where we have over 7,000 unique email addresses. We also advertise via the city's website, city's social media, and all of our advertisement is done in accordance with our HUD-approved participation plan. You wanted to know about any issues that we're having with the distribution of the funding, and about agencies maybe not being in receipt of promised funds. Just as a point of clarification, I think that that terminology is a little bit of a mischaracterization of our division's operations. If we withhold funds, it's typically due to compliance issues. And if there are delays in our ability to disperse funds. Typically, those complaints are coming from the federal appropriations timeline, not necessarily the work of the team here in DCD. However, you did ask on what measures will we take to kind of improve this going forward. Again, these measures are kind of built into all of these steps we've already taken, whether that is providing robust compliance. We also have a post-award seminar. So any agency that is approved by Municipal Council for funding will receive information and guidance on how to submit these vouchers and for us to get through a prompt payment process. We provide them with clear guidelines, and we also provide them access to the division's policy and procedure manuals. And again, for me to be responsive to the community, at the pre-application seminar, multiple agencies requested a timeline extension for this current application cycle, which I did grant by providing all agencies an additional 2 weeks to submit applications for this competitive grant cycle. You had questions about, again, how we help them navigate the applications, and I think I kind of clarified some of those questions for you. In reference to payment, we also provide them with the calendar of reimbursement, which are tied to municipal council meetings. Additionally, our team and the technical assistance that we provide, we're mostly reimbursing agencies for payroll. So what we need from them is the prompt receipt of their paid out payroll, time logs that are accurate for the employees and that are appropriately apportioned for the work that they're doing for the agency as a whole to the amount of time they actually spend dedicated doing the grant work that we're funding. And all of this, we just, again, train them on staying within their cost allocation plans and staying within the budget guidelines. And then the other question was about how do we make decisions on allocating funds? And I mean, again, we can talk about that a little bit more offline, but I would say that it starts with the development of our 5-year consolidated plan and our annual action plan, which is a collaborative process, not only with the community that requires 30-day community feedback and input, but also goes up for council approval and vote. Each time we make these decisions, or if I have to make changes to allocations or things we decided in the plan, it always requires me to go back to the community to notify them and come back to council for a vote.
Yeah.
Thank you, Deja.
You're very welcome, and you guys enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Good afternoon, Council. I'm here on behalf of Director Kears. Agenda number 10.29, Resolution 25-593. This is a resolution authorizing the award of a contract to Continental Hardware to provide lumber and assorted building materials for the Department of Public Works Division and the Building and Street for maintenance. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
No one else? All right. Our first reading ordinances. Agenda item 3.1, ordinance 25-095, a bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements by and in the city of Jersey City and the county of Hudson in the state of New Jersey, reappropriating $79,713,002.82 excess bond or note proceeds from various bond ordinances not needed for their original purpose to finance the cost thereof.
Oh, okay, James.
Sorry, Peter, I misunderstood what you said earlier. You withdrawing this or what?
We're going to withdraw this one, correct?
Got it. And
Well, Peter, if you can, I know we're gonna withdraw it. When you bring it back or before you bring it back, if we can get like a,
By ward,
yeah, just to see.
I'll work with finance to do that for you, Councilman.
All right.
Agenda item 3.2, ordinance 25-096, an ordinance amending chapter A 352, enabling ordinances of the Jersey City Municipal Code commemoratively designating Bentley Avenue from John F. Kennedy Boulevard to West Side Avenue as Walter R. Lazinski Way. Agenda item 3.3, we already discussed. Agenda item 3.4, ordinance 25-098, an ordinance amending chapter 218, multiple dwellings, section 12 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Jersey City by adding subsection 3, mandatory disclosure for rent increases. Agenda item 3.5, ordinance 25-099, an ordinance amending and supplementing chapter 260, rent control, of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Jersey City to clarify the scope of state level exemptions. Agenda item 3.6, ordinance 25-100, an ordinance amending and supplementing chapters 218, multiple dwellings, chapter 260, rent control, and chapter 254, property maintenance of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Jersey City to establish mandatory minimums for violations of housing-related ordinances.
Sure. So this is 3.4, 3.5, 3.6 are ones that we're introducing. Briefly on 3.4, this is in relation to the banning of AI algorithms that we passed a couple months ago. We've been continuing to talk to folks about the best way to enforce it. And one of the ideas was to just mandate in leases that landlords affirmatively disclose that they're not using the software. In this case, obviously, if they were to be using it and then falsely disclose that they're not using it in the lease, it does create sort of issues with consumer fraud. So we just think this strengthens the enforcement of the ordinance. The second one, 3.5, is amending and supplementing Chapter 260 to clarify the scope of state level exemptions. And what we believe we're doing here is simply clarifying the pre-existing rule that says if landlords don't properly follow a number of disclosure rules as well as other rules in 260, that they're not entitled to rental increases. So there was some vague language, and we wanted to clarify that. And then the last one, 3.6. We are entitled by law to establish a mandatory minimum fine of $100. And what you hear sometimes from the portside tenants as well as others is that a bunch of fines get issued and then they all get thrown away. And so this would set the mandatory minimum of $100 if a summons is ultimately deemed to be valid. We think that creates again a disincentive to engage in bad actions as landlords. So those are the three ordinances and the three descriptions, and obviously happy to answer questions or provide more information before first reading.
It away if it's in the courts. I don't understand it.
Agreed. I mean, something with the judges do we can't control, but we don't want the prosecutors throwing it out.
But do we know that they're doing that they're throwing it out?
So it is our understanding that what happens is a lot of times the cases get all rolled up, and so the violations do get dismissed. And we, again, this trying to set that and trying to set a minimum. It doesn't eliminate all of that, but it does set the minimum that if there is a summons that's ultimately adjudicated, that it can't just be no money. It has to be a minimum of $100.
It's nothing.
I know, but we can't go more than that. It's literally that is the most we can do. I wish we could do more, but that is the most we can do.
Are we allowed to do 100 per tenant, $100 violation per tenant per
Per
day?
infraction?
That's what it calls for in the ordinance, proposed ordinance.
I'll let the law department speak about it a little bit, but Councilman, it's also $100 a minimum they're looking at. They could potentially go up to $2,000. So that discretion is up to the prosecutor, the judge, everyone else. So it doesn't have to be a minimum dollars.
Right.
It can be a lot more than that.
But they throwing it out now. What is going to prevent them from doing this? That's the problem.
It's obviously, it's not my office, but I would push back on saying that items are just thrown out. Obviously, when there's a bunch of tickets written, they have attorneys, there could be plea agreements. I don't know the specifics offhand. Obviously, that is something that happens quite often. So, I don't know. and get more specifics from the prosecutor if you're worried about any particular
Let's
incident.
have a meeting with the prosecutor.
Sure.
Because this makes no sense.
I think part of the issue as I've been watching this going on, there have been several violations. And for whatever reason, I mean, I'm not in a negotiation room, but plea agreements is if they plead to this, then they'll throw the remainder out. But the problem with that is like, it's not enough to deter the behavior the law is implemented and intended to do.
We can have a meeting with the prosecutor, okay? BA set it up. Because it's defeating our purpose, to be perfectly honest, even if we put this in place. If they feel like, oh, let's make a plea and we're just gonna throw out, the behavior doesn't change. And that's part of the problem in this city. The behavior is out of control.
Moving on to our second reading ordinances. Agenda item 4.1, ordinance 25-086, an ordinance of the Municipal Council of the City of Jersey City, adopting amendments to the Journal Square 2060 redevelopment plan and the St. John's redevelopment plan.
John, I mean, you look like Sean from the back. I was asked to make an amendment to this here for Cottage Street and Van Ripen, but I was just told in a message that this might be a major change. And nobody is here from planning at this time. There's nobody here from planning. So I'm going to propose an amendment for Cottage Street,
Guys.
Ripen. Can it be put
Is
on?
the lawyer here?
Councilman, if you want, why don't you email the planning department after this, and then we can make sure they get a response from them, we can discuss it.
Is the lawyer here? They told me they would have a lawyer here to discuss this. Come and discuss this.
Yeah, Chuck, I thought we had settled this issue.
Yes, for the record, Charles Harrington of Connell Foley on behalf of this property owner of lots 15 and 49 in block 7903. These are lots on Cottage Street and Van Ripen. And my client owns those two properties, and he's in discussions with the property owners directly next door, lot 16 and lot 48, to request that they be remapped as Zone 3. We had made this request at the planning board as well. It involves some additional lots. Full disclosure, the planning board did not recommend the change, and planning did not recommend the change. But we are requesting, the reason we are requesting it and the reason we put before the planning board is that while these are Zone 4, the properties, I know you don't have the map in front of you, the properties between them can be developed under the Homestead Place extension, which allows them to be developed as Zone 3 properties. So the idea there is these are separated from them. From the Homestead Place extension, so it would give these properties the ability to be developed under the Zone 3 regulations, which again would the affordable housing provisions would apply. So you'd have 10%
Correct.
affordable for all projects 30 units and above. So you would get a larger development consistent with the homestead developments that are already there, but we see a benefit that you'd have the 10% affordable as well. So we just think these are kind of outliers, and I can provide a map, to the council between now and Wednesday. So it's a lot more clearer. But Councilman, we did have a discussion, and my client advised me that he'd still like to pursue it, but on a smaller scale, just these particular properties, to be part of this. So
Knowing this was coming on, you should have had to put somebody from planning here because planning is against it. And I think that it's a major change in the whole plan, the whole redevelopment plan.
Chuck, let me ask you this. If these lots are not included, how can he build? What could he build? Because this, based on what you're saying, is just like these two lots are left out, correct?
Right.
Now, if they're left out and everybody else is building around him, what option does he have to build?
He then has the option to build under the current zoning, which is zone 4, which I believe is maxed. It's like 8 to 12 stories. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but he still has the right to build. And I know the planning has their idea for zone 4, which are not part of these amendments before you, are to provide for 10 additional stories to accommodate the affordable housing in hopefully the next round of amendments. This would bring it up to zone 3, which would allow you to go up to 27 stories and then another accommodation. So those are.
And if he goes up, it changes the percentage for affordable housing, correct?
He does, yeah. It'd be a requirement of 10% affordable housing as part of that.
Chuck, why don't you arrange to have Tanya come to City Hall and Mike Manzella and you and me, and we'll sit down and we'll discuss this whole issue like we have in the past, because.
I mean, you have to do that by Wednesday. I mean, I would love to amend that because it almost seems a little blatant there, you know? I mean, I really would like to amend that, you know, so it could be on the.
But always adjust the redevelopment plan in the future.
The problem, this is the problem I have, because the planning board disagrees. They shouldn't be built, but then there's another way in which they can go around the planning board. They can come to us directly to get it done. Now, my concern is though, if we put this forth, all right, he can go up how many additional stories? And that's why I want Tanya here too. She got to explain that pretty much to us, because Chuck and you represent your client, which is great.
That's right.
But we need somebody to represent us to give us really a clarity of all of this, because Rich is saying one thing and we want to make sure we're not doing any harm to this developer that wants these put on here too. That's all. We just need clarity because we make that decision.
This discussion with my client just kind of came together in the last couple of days. So that's why planning, it was not aware that I'm here tonight. I was here really to listen to the redevelopment plan amendments and possibly have a discussion about it, which I'm here, and I'm happy to discuss it with planning so that the council members can talk to them as well. Because as the councilman noted, I guess a legal question would be whether it's a substantial change or not to the pending ordinance. And if it's a substantial change, does that move you back to first reading?
It moves us back to first base, right? Yes. So that's why I want to know, if it moves us back to first base, will it affect what is in the process of, this going on now? Because we don't want to fight anybody, but we got to Wednesday.
Yep, understood.
So these two parcels, you want them included in the zone and they're not currently included?
They're zone 4 right now. We're requesting that they be remapped as zone 3. So there's
Everybody else.
Except for these.
But planning knew this though, right? And then
It involves.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's why we want to know.
Chuck, what is the current affordable housing percentage for these lots?
So if you develop them now under zone 4, there is no affordable housing requirement.
So there's no plans for it either? The developer isn't throwing in any?
No, not under zone 4. If it were changed to zone 3, you would have to have 10% on any projects that are 30 units or more. I know planning, again, in the spirit of full disclosure, I know planning has ideas of changing zone 4 so that it's a 10% requirement as well for 30 units or more. And then a separate accommodation for zone 4 properties.
Oh, so that must be planning's position.
That's right.
Oh,
They think their future.
Yeah, I see what you're saying now. Interesting. Yeah, Rich, you guys got to meet, Rich.
What?
You guys got to have a meeting.
Yeah, well, this is what,
I see what planning's position is. They're basically saying that they're going to get around to doing it. It's going to mandate affordable costs anyway.
And
It-
Councilman, if there are proposed amendments, we don't have a copy of them yet. So if you have them, if you can send them to us and the clerk so we can review them to see if they would be a substantial change.
This is just a conversation. See, that's what I'm saying. It's a conversation. We don't have anything in front of us again. And, you know, we need something in front of us to know how to proceed. So even though you're here to represent your client accidentally, I don't know, we don't have nothing.
Understood.
So Chuck, later on in the week, get a hold of Tanya. If you can arrange a meeting with her and Mike Manzello, and we'll sit down and talk again. I mean, this affects an area. It affects more than just those two lots. It affects an area which a lot of 1 and 2 family homes.
Mm.
And I think that's one of the reasons the people, are against it. But if Tanya and Mike go along with some sort of an amendment to the redevelopment plan in the future, we can do it.
Understood.
And
Thank you.
I just have to go back, James, to your 3 ordinance. We want, I just got text because the Director Chiron said he wasn't informed, so he just wanted to know how this is going to affect his department because this goes back to him. So,
Oh, yeah, and the enforcement, who's?
that's right. He just texted me because he didn't know this was coming. So.
Sure.
what-
So I think 3.6 is mandatory fine with the prosecutor's office.
Okay.
3.5 is clarifying the scope of the existing regulations. We can get a memo to him so he knows exactly. And 3.4 would just be that he would then, his office, if some, a tenant said, look, the lease doesn't have the mandatory disclosure, then that could be a violation that his office could find. But we can get him a memo in the next 24 hours on 3.4 and 3.5.
And I think this too, because we still going through this budget hearing, I think his office, somehow or another, we're going to have to increase his enforcement, his staff. We've been changing, certain, ordinance, especially when it comes to tenant and landlord. And, the problem is the enforcement. I think we're writing good legislation, to be perfectly honest. It's just that we don't have no enforcement. And until that department get enforced, it's like, this is just, it has no power, it has no teeth to it, so to say. So I think part of the priority is that we need to make sure during this budget process, he at least get 2 more staff members. And the reason why I'm saying this, BA, is because it pays for itself. It will pay for itself. Positions like that will pay for itself. Right? We can't move any further without this enforcement, because people are hurting throughout the whole city when it comes to tenant and landlord.
Shall I continue with the second reading ordinances, Council President?
Yes.
Okay. Agenda item 4.2, ordinance 25-087, an ordinance of the Municipal Council amending the Fayette Broadway redevelopment plan.
John, this is another issue, and I just got 2 calls before I came in here that the neighborhood and the organizations down there are deadly against this. So I think this should be pulled. I know people are going to come here and speak on Wednesday night.
Point 2.
I just want to let the rest of the council know there's a lot of opposition to this.
My understanding was there's supposed to be outreach in between, because, we had talked about pulling it at first reading, and then the thought was it would happen between first and second reading. And has that happened, Council? Nope. Okay.
They haven't,
Okay.
You here, Jean, to discuss this? 4.2 before we pull it.
My name is Eugene Paolino from Genova Burns. I'm representing the developer on this application. This, is I don't know what to address, but if you're asking Councilman Solomon's question as to outreach, we've had about 4 community meetings. I reached out to try to schedule another community meeting, but was unable to get it done. I have spoken with Councilman Bogiano just very briefly, but we've gotten
nowhere. I think at the end of the day, the council president
Yeah.
quite correctly that the objections, because this is an objection to a redevelopment plan amendment, need to be presented. It's not clear to me even what the objections are. I have some idea, believe me, but they're not, I don't want to state them. That's for somebody else to do. And I think we were waiting for the hearing to do that when the issue was raised.
They said no arrangement was made for another meeting. We spoke about this.
I was trying with Pam to do that.
You don't arrange it through Pam, you arrange it through the people down there at Mount Carmel, not with Pam. You know,
The only point I'm trying to make is that I tried to do that.
Right.
No one reached out to me, by the way, but
He tried to meet. That's what he
In
said.
the past, could you say you guys,
Right.
in the past, you guys met 4 times, you said?
3 or 4 times. So the last time we had a meeting was at the Mount Carmel basement. Before that, we had a meeting in the old empty Puccini's building. And before that, there were 2 street meetings on the corner of Broadway and near West Side.
Now, how were you?
There were countless discussions with me and my associate, with Mike Manzo, and discussions with Councilman Bogiano's office.
So how did you guys coordinate those meetings?
that's the problem.
How did you guys coordinate?
Here's the interesting thing. The complaints that Councilman may have gotten and the complaints that I heard at those meetings was generally not about this amendment. It was about an adjacent project in which my client was building, and they had complaints about it. My client, the developer, has no violations, has had the construction people all over the place trying to control everything that's going on. There was concern about truck noise. There was concern about sidewalk shedding, for instance. The pedestrian walkway is shedded on top, so it's protected from falling debris. The community, a couple of members from the community, Mr. Manzo predominantly, asked that the sidewalk shedding be removed, except that that's a requirement of the building department. So I contacted the building department and asked, are we entitled to remove this sidewalk shedding? And the answer is that I knew would be the answer was no, because we're subject to liability if something falls down, right? So you can't just simply tell the developer remove the sidewalk shedding and expect that there'll be no repercussions. There would be repercussions. So there were those kinds of issues. There was issues relating to the number of trees. There's 29 trees being planted. There was issues with respect to, it was all related to the ongoing project, not to the amendment to the redevelopment plan, which leads me to the statement that I made that I'm not quite sure what the objections to the redevelopment plan are.
The building of the new building, they want to put up another building, and they objected to it because on the prior building, I was at another meeting last week with the people. The developer didn't listen to the neighborhood, and you said they had 3 meetings. I was at, I think, 2 of them, and nothing was accomplished. And he or whoever's developing it just doesn't listen to the people in the community, and they're tired of it. People in the city are tired of being shoved around.
Yeah.
So the developer that wants to do the redevelopment have already previously done work and haven't, so they're frustrated because he's essentially, in their eyes, reneged on the first part of the contract. So they want to make sure that we don't get in a position where that's done again. But even if all that's true or false, I just know that at the last council meeting, I was under the impression at least that a meeting was going to take place. And if a meeting didn't take place, then in good conscience, I can't vote for it. I'm not familiar with the actual logistics of how, what more, what up or anything, but.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
But yeah, that's the impression that I was under, that a meeting was going to take place between 1 and 2. Now I'm ahead at a dance.
That's my.
And I know, Mr. Manzo was here last time, and I know he said he was gonna reach out to my office. I didn't receive anything from him neither.
He
So,
called me today and, they're still all against it and it hasn't.
I think, I just recollected, there was between that, the first reading and today, there was one phone call instituted by Mr. Pizzillo of my office. And Mr. Pizzillo called at the request of Councilman Mogiano that he reach out to Mr. Manzo.
okay,
And my understanding is Mr. Pizzillo is here. He could fill you in more if you wish. But my understanding is that Mr. Manzo's complaints were all related to that other project.
other project.
But you can hear from the, the horse's mouth if you wish.
Yeah.
It's both projects. They're just, they're just tired over there of a lot of things going on.
The only person I've
Those are
heard
the-
a lot about is Mr. Manzo is.
Oh, it's not only him, Gene. If you come to the church when they have the meetings down there, it's not him. It's a lot of older women are furious about this and speak to them. They've lived in the neighborhood all their lives. They're tired of what's going on. And it's, what you should have done is contacted Manzo and I can't think of his name, the guy that runs the meetings over there, and sat down and discussed all these issues with them. And that hasn't happened. I know you said they had 3 meetings. I was at 2 of them, as I said. Nothing
I
has
think
been.
they had about 4, as a matter of fact. But,
The issue is the project in existing now, based on to my understanding. People are not happy with the project now. The community, they evidently, the developer is not communicating with the community based on the project that he have existing now that's going up.
I can only say this, there was a community meeting, 3 community meetings ago on the street in which certain things were requested, that there be a website, that there be a signage for complaints. All of those were done. The developer has never received a violation from the city at all with respect to the violation of any of the permits, the building permits. None of those. There's no violations here. So I understand the community is upset about development, construction going on. I would be upset if there's construction going on adjacent to my house, right? But I don't know that this is a big city and people live nearby. And the intent is always among, as far as I know, for clients I've represented, get them done, get the work done quickly so that there is no more upset within the community.
Yeah.
You can do what you can in terms of giving them, giving them avenues to respond, to deal with issues that come up. But if they're not used, or if they are used and they are repaired, you never there's no satisfaction. They have about, I don't know, at least 4 guys out around the property whose only job is to make sure that the trucks get in and out quickly, that there's no upset with respect to, blockage of any paths, that the pedestrians are safe. I don't know what more they could possibly do
Gene,
in a city like Jersey City.
Gene, it has to do with the Puccini project, basically, and the changes that were made. And a lot of the people over there are really annoyed. I heard some of the changes they want, and Puccini's is going to be gone probably. They thought there was going to be a restaurant there. They thought this was going to be done, that was going to be done. Why don't you just have your developer himself come sit down with the people in the neighborhood?
The developer was at that meeting.
And nothing has been.
As was the architect, the engineer, the planner, and me.
And nothing has been accomplished. They didn't, everything the people asked, nothing was done.
What was asked? I'm just.
Well, they have a load of questions, so you'd have to.
There was.
So they'll be here.
Can we get a list of concrete, what the requests from the community were? And if there are no requests that are concrete, then if it's just general, the construction is bothering us, I get it. That's upsetting to everyone.
Yeah.
But we have to deal with this amendment to the redevelopment plan. I empathize with them. I've gone through it, you know, but if they need to change something, like, let's get a list from the community and send it to Gene.
They're gonna be here, they're coming here Wednesday night because,
Let them come.
on this,
Yeah, I could tell you one thing that I could recall, if you want to hear it. There was, Mike Manzo was concerned about the width of the sidewalks in front of the new development, the one that's proposed. It's not even proposed. This is an amendment to a redevelopment plan. This is not a site plan. Site plan, I still have to go
It's
to.
different.
Yes.
So there was a question as to the width of the sidewalk. It's supposed to be, I think, 15 feet. You know what the width of the sidewalk is? 23 feet. It's 23 feet wide.
I don't think so, Gene.
I know
telling you.
so. I know.
Telling you it's 23.
Gene, you said something else about enforcement. Well, Sunday morning, there was construction going on in Ward C on a
You know
Sunday
what?
morning, and there's no enforcement of anything in the city.
Gene, I can see that this is more concerned about the building that's going up versus this redevelopment plan. And this is getting crossed because it's the same developer, I'm assuming. So what you can do is ask, I guess, even at the meeting, to send us a list on that concern, what's going on with that project. And we can kind of
I've
follow
always asked for
through
that. Yeah.
with that project. But this is a separate entity with this redevelopment plan. I got it. It's two different things here.
Or Rich, is there any way you can call a meeting and then invite all the parties to come? Because we can't, well, we, at some point, we either got to vote on it or not. We can't, like.
We can vote on it, yes or no, but this is a separate issue. These people are upset about what's going on. And I want to address that. They upset. I see what Rich is saying. They're upset. This is a different issue with the redevelopment plan. They upset about the people working. They're upset about the trucks going in and out. The people are out there early in the morning probably they upset. So I want to see how we can address them because they're upset about the project that's being built. This has nothing to do with this redevelopment.
That's what my concern is, right? They have every reason to be upset about illegal construction. However, there's an avenue to iron that stuff out. The redevelopment zone is a separate incident, is a separate instance. And I'm saying, Rich, as the council person, can have a meeting specifically as it relates to what they agree or disagree in the redevelopment zone. And if you want to bring up the external stuff, fine. But for the sake of the council, for us voting.
How many meetings? Because they said that they had the meeting already and the developer was there, he was there, the councilman was there. Like, where are we going with that?
But they had the meeting, but they keep
About
bringing up.
the other
issues
stuff.
of
That's
the
what I'm
building.
saying.
That's why. Send us a list with the other issues and we'll see how could we address that. Thank you. This is enough. This is enough. We got it. This is enough. We got it. Thank you. Go ahead, John. This is it.
Okay.
We need the list.
All right. Agenda item 4.3, ordinance 25-088. A franchise ordinance granting permission to 88 Regent Street LLC, its successors and assigns to have private improvements in the public right-of-way at Regent Street, adjacent to the property located at 88 Regent Street, Jersey City, New Jersey, identified on the tax map of the city of Jersey City as Block 14002, lots 1.02 and 1.06. Agenda item 4.4, ordinance 25-089. A franchise ordinance granting permission to Ian Gutch and Shannon Smith pursuant to resolution of the Planning Board of the City of Jersey City under case number P2024-0135, allowing the installation of a common entry stoop and stair that extend into the right-of-way beyond the boundary lines of Lot 30, Block 19007, and are for the benefit of Lot 30, Block 19007, commonly known as 328 Halliday Street, Jersey City, New Jersey. Agenda item 4.5, ordinance 25-090. An ordinance authorizing the city of Jersey City to execute an extension of a lease with the New Jersey Public Schools Development Authority on real property located at Block 21102, Lot 52 on the city's tax map located at 70 Ege Avenue for the purposes of temporary parking for the Via JC service. Agenda item 4.6, ordinance 25-091. An ordinance supplementing chapter 332, vehicles and traffic, article 9, parking for the disabled of the Jersey City Code designated a reserved parking space at various locations throughout the city. Agenda item 4.7, ordinance 25-092. An ordinance supplementing chapter 332, vehicles and traffic, article 2, traffic regulations, amending section 332-9, stop intersections, to designate various intersections in the Heights neighborhood into multi-way stop intersections. Agenda item 4.8, ordinance 25-093. An ordinance supplementing chapter 332, vehicles and traffic, article 3, parking, standing and stopping, amending section 332-24, parking prohibited certain hours along Van Winkle Avenue between Tunley Avenue and Liberty Avenue. Agenda item 4.9, ordinance 25-094. An ordinance supplementing chapter 332, vehicles and traffic, article 8, permit parking, amending section 332-58, parking restrictions in residential zones, to extend parking zone 2 to include Clifton Place between Fairmount Avenue and Summit Avenue. There will be a special hearing on the 2025-2026 West Side Avenue Special Improvement Assessment Roll and Budget. As far as our public requests for hearing, we're up to about 28. Well, as of the printing this afternoon, we have 28 speakers. I suspect we will have more before 6 p.m. on Wednesday. Petitions and communications. If there's any questions on those? Hearing none. Quite a bit. So pardon me bear with me as I leaf through these. The reports of directors, section 8 of the agenda. Unless there are any questions on this, I'll move on to the next item of business. Section 9 of the agenda, claims list. Is there any questions? Moving on to our resolutions. We went through items 10.1 through 10.9. Item 10.10, resolution 25-574, a resolution of the Municipal Council of the City of Jersey City in support of 32BJ SEIU security officers in their 2025 contract campaign. Agenda item 10.11, resolution 25-575, resolution designating block 13103, lot 1, also known as 155 Montgomery Street, as an area in need of redevelopment without the power of condemnation, or more specifically, a non-condemnation redevelopment area. Agenda item 10.12, resolution 25-576, a resolution reappointing Nadine Killebrew from part-time judge to full-time judge of the Jersey City Municipal Court. Agenda item 10.13, resolution 25-577, a resolution reappointing Erwin Rosen as a part-time judge of the Jersey City Municipal Court. Agenda item 10.14, resolution 25-578, a resolution reappointing Mark C. Curtis as a part-time judge of the Jersey City Municipal Court. Agenda item 10.15, resolution 25-579, a resolution reappointing W. Nevins McCann as a member of the Jersey City Medical Center Board of Trustees. Agenda item 10.16, resolution 25-580, a resolution reappointing John Manila as a member of the Jersey City Medical Center Board of Trustees. Agenda item 10.17, Resolution 25-581, a resolution accepting the assessment role of the 2025-2026 West Side Avenue Special Improvement District of the City of Jersey City. Agenda item 10.18, Resolution 25-582, a resolution adopting and ratifying the 2025-2026 budget of the West Side Avenue Special Improvement District of the City of Jersey City. We've already discussed items 10.19 through 10.29. Agenda item 10.30, Resolution 25-594. A resolution awarding an access agreement to Pacific Outdoor Advertising to enter city property at 111 Chapel Avenue to install a billboard display. Agenda item 10.31, Resolution 25-595, a resolution awarding a professional services agreement with the law firm of Light DePalma, Greenberg, and Afanador, LLC, to represent the City of Jersey City in various litigation matters. Agenda item 10.32, Resolution 25-596, a resolution authorizing a lien against the properties listed herein for the costs of removing litter, debris, etc., in accordance with NJSA 40:48-2.14 and Jersey City Municipal Code Section 287-4. Agenda item 10.33, Resolution 25-597, a resolution authorizing the settlement of the consolidated actions entitled Devika D. Suku versus City of Jersey City et al., docket number HUD-L-3656-21, consolidated with Noreen Pasram versus City of Jersey City et al., docket number HUD-L-3997-21. Agenda item 10.34, Resolution 24-598, a resolution authorizing that the calendar year 2025 municipal budget shall be read by title in accordance with NJSA 40A:4-8. Agenda item 10.35, Resolution 25-599, a resolution reappointing Donald Brown as a member of the Jersey City Housing Authority. Agenda item 10.36, Resolution 25-600, a resolution appointing Mira Prinzari as a member of the Jersey City Redevelopment Agency. Agenda item 10.37, Resolution 25-601, a resolution calling for a fair negotiated settlement agreement between the interns at Christ Hospital, represented by SEIU/CIR, and Hudson Regional Hospital. Agenda item 10.38, Resolution 25-602, a resolution honoring the 30th Annual Jersey City West Indian Caribbean American Carnival.
Deputy Clerk, I think we accidentally skipped 10.2 because it's two budgets that have the same name.
All right, what was that? I'm sorry.
10.2.
10.2, it's the councilman's budget amendment.
Oh, did I not read that into the? I'm sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, sure. So we mentioned this briefly at the last one. I think we had sent an email to everyone at the council. We were proposing shifting roughly $1 million from the city council line for aides that we have not hired into the traffic engineering department to help deal with the backlog of Vision Zero requests, and specifically to hire engineers so that they have the full-time team and staff. And then we did receive some requests from other council members to provide some funding for other line items. So we shifted 300,000 out of traffic and engineering, 100,000 to the city clerk's line item, 100,000 to the quality of life line item, and 100,000 to the sanitation line item. And then it includes still the 900,000 for traffic and engineering in the Department of Infrastructure. and primarily to fund the missing salaries for the positions that are not funded. And then, as I understand the logistics of this, is, we have 10.1, which is what's introduced by the administration. 10.2 is everything is the same as 10.1, except what's in this memo. So it's taking that money out of the city council line item and putting it in these other line items. And then my understanding, and I defer to the clerk a little bit in law department on procedure, but is that the council should approve one or the other, either 10.1 or 10.2, and then there'll be a public hearing and final vote in 2 weeks after that. Is my understanding of it.
That is my understanding as well, but I defer to the lawyers on that point.
Makes sense to me, yep.
Yes.
And administration keep telling me that there is funding to hire one.
That is correct, Council President. The position and the director of infrastructure have been told that, she can hire them. We have funding to hire them. Currently, we have the outside contract that's handling most of the emergency items. But it's always been our intention to hire one. I think she just has issues getting one.
Okay, so then if it's in the budget, it's in the updated budget from the administration.
To my knowledge, it is correct, Councilman.
As I understand it, so the chief engineer position is in the current budget at staffed at 150,000. We're increasing that just to 10,000 by 160,000. So there's a little more salary to try to entice someone to take the job. But then the other positions that are vacant, there's 2 principal engineer positions that are not funded. There's 1 engineering aide position. There's 1 supervising engineer position. And then in the traffic department, there's a senior engineer position, 2 traffic engineering positions, 1 engineering aide, and 1 traffic analyst. So there is the money in the budget for the chief engineer, try to increase that, but the other engineering positions, I believe it's 9. Those do not have money.
Do we give them a certain amount of time, so that they can fill these positions, or what happens if these positions don't get filled? Does this go back to the?
Yeah, so they've been in the temporary budget up till now. They haven't been filled up till now. So that's why for the remainder of the year, the intent was to, use the money as it's currently in the budget versus what we're currently, or the councilman's proposing to use it as. Now, the next year, if they want to change it and, hire these positions, we can actually find individuals that could be addressed in next year's budget. But up till now, the positions were open. They just haven't been able to hire anyone.
Does it go back to the budget from the council, or does it stay like?
Right.
What?
Because the next council should have the right to do what they need to do with who comes in. So because this won't happen until November with this change too, correct?
Right. It'd be for the remainder of the year.
It takes 4 to 6 months to even hire anybody.
Correct.
I'm not, I think it's a nice proposal, but it's, we're at the 11th hour here doing this, and there's going to be a change in administration. And I also question the efficacy of hiring people at the end of the year when their positions won't be guaranteed. If this was done last year or the year before, then, I think it would have had a super big impact. But as of right now, we're literally at the end game, and for them to devote resources to interviewing and then onboarding, and then the year's over, and then new council, new administration comes in, and those positions aren't guaranteed. I think someone would be crazy to want to jump on board an uncertain future like that.
I would just say that I don't think we can operate a city with basically 1 engineer, which is what we've been operating on. And so I think putting more money in to get the chief engineer, putting more money in to hire some of these engineering positions, it would be in the start of next year's budget. But obviously any position that's funded by the city could be changed by the future mayor and council, whoever they may be. So I think my view is just we don't have the capacity. We should shift the money there. Obviously, when we originally intended this, we were under the impression we'd get to the budget amendments in July, so we'd have more time. But I still think it's important to shift the money over. If folks think you want to shift a little less money than what's being shifted, that certainly we can amend that before Wednesday. But I do think there are really important engineering positions.
we have to fund some of these positions. They just have to be funded. And the only one that's funded in this year's budget is the chief engineer. And it obviously hasn't been enough to get someone to say yes. And whoever the next mayor is going to have a chief engineer. I mean, that's just a thing you need.
I have a question then. So, I didn't know that we were even maybe discussing, giving other departments, some of this money. I mean, like, would you consider even giving the Department of Recreation $100,000 or $200,000 because they're on life support as well?
Yeah, yes, I think we tried to
There's a lot of divisions that's on life
Correct.
support.
Everybody-
That's the
Right.
issue here. Right.
Agreed. So you can't give it, but yes, we had asked every council member for opinions. It was via memo, but
Right.
for Wednesday, we're happy to take a couple more before now and then. I just, again, yeah. But so yes, I'm happy to take more, but you're not gonna get everyone, if that makes sense.
So I guess my question is, because you just said we have to choose one or the other, 10.1 or 10.2, did I
Right.
understand that correctly? So the changes that Councilman Solomon is proposing to make with the extra money in our council budget, why couldn't that just be, I guess, wrapped up into all the amendments? The amendments, whatever amendments are in 10.1, like why is it a one or the other type deal?
The administration had certain funding priorities to make sure all our positions were filled. That's what 10.1 comes from. 10.2 was Councilman Solomon's response where, he wanted to reallocate that money to different areas.
And I think the other issue that the administration raised was they didn't want, in case there were objections to this amendment, they just wanted to make sure that a budget passed to advance going forward, which I understand.
Okay.
But, so the thing is to have one budget move forward at the next meeting or a public hearing and final adoption. But the thing that just to keep in mind, the only difference between the two amendments is the shifting of money from the council to these other priorities. And obviously, again, as we pointed out in both 2022 and 2023 and 2024, that money was in the council line item. And then ultimately in 23 was shifted, I think, into insurance and 24 public. So it's not as if that money
And been shifted.
Right, yeah. It got shifted anyway. It just got shifted in November.
Right.
And we didn't really get a say in it. So my thought was it's more important for us to get a say in the shifting of that money than, waiting until November and somebody overspent their money and they're going to try to claim it.
I think bang for your buck, going from part-time sanitation inspectors, like increasing their hours or more programming for kids. That's probably where you're gonna see the most impact in the last 4 months that we've got. So hopefully you guys get reelected though, but
I just think that, I agree with Councilman Solomon. We should have a say if they're going to shift our money out of our budget, number one. I do believe that. But I think when it comes to traffic and engineering, I believe they do need a chief engineer that's priority. But there's so many other departments that is in a dying need also. So when you look at it, I can see giving something to traffic and engineering. I can see giving something to recreation. I can see giving something to the clerk's office. I can see giving something to tenant and landlord. These areas are thirsty, so if that's the case, then we should have a say that those are departments that should get something. Now, and I may can't fulfill all of traffic engineering with all that they need. But they should get something. Recreation should get something. Tenant and landlord should get something. The city clerk needs to get his clerk replaced because they doing a lot down in that office. And also DPW with the laborers because we still have to maintain this area. So if it's going to be shifted out of our budget, then we should have a say in it where it goes.
Yep.
And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I want to put words in.
That's right, yeah.
I think what Councilman Solomon is saying is he is open to shifting some of that around. I know I did specifically ask for more money to go towards sanitation and cleaning and some other issues, and he did do that. So if we have some other stuff, I believe, the council, like you said, should have a say.
Should have a say. So I guess it's going to just raffle this budget.
All right. All right. But yeah, please reach out in the next, by like noon on Tuesday if you have other changes that we can incorporate.
Okay, good.
Just to speak to the budget, thanks for the introduction there, Ken. As a council president, I discussed what we would like to do ideally as far as the timeline goes, have the introduction this Wednesday, and then the following Wednesday, which would be the 17th, we'd like to have a special meeting where the council could vote on the amendments, and then assuming the amendments are passed, we can immediately vote on the budget to adopt it afterwards. As you guys are all aware, you received a letter from the state. They're pressuring us to get this done as quickly as possible. We want to make sure we do that, not only to go in accordance with them, but of course, also we have a lot of finance and funding things that need to be contingent upon the adoption of the full budget. So we don't want to delay those any longer if possible. So as of right now, we're proposing next Wednesday, the 17th at 6 p.m. to have a special meeting. We'll obviously have to introduce that and discuss it at the council meeting, but I just want to make you all aware now where we're at caucus together.
Okay, thanks, Peter.
Unless anything else, can I entertain a motion to adjourn at 5:37 p.m.?
Motion.
Motion, I think that was Soleil that made the motion. That's seconded by Rivera?
Second.
DeGeez, okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, clearly a pass. We will see everyone same at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, same location for the council meeting. Be well, everyone.